This is the demilitarized zone, the border that separates North Korea from South Korea. Every year, a handful of people attempt to cross, risking everything for a chance at life beyond the regime. Most fail. One young man, a factory worker, had meticulously planned his escape. In the dead of night, he stepped onto the frozen Tumen River, hoping to reach China. Guards spotted him, and gunfire shattered the night. By dawn, his body lay lifeless on the ice, a stark warning of the lethal precision of North Korea's border forces. You see, nearly none escape North Korea. However, on November 13th, 2017, a 24-year-old soldier named Oh Chong-song approached the same border with a resolve few could comprehend. Serving as a driver for the North Korean military, he had seen the consequences faced by those who tried and failed. He knew the DMZ at Panmunjom was one of the most dangerous places on earth, where North and South Korean soldiers stood face to face, ready to respond with lethal force. But then, Oh Chong-song made the decision that would change his life forever. Oh Chong-song was born in either 1992 or 1993 near Kaesong in Changpung County, North Hwanghae Province, a region not far from the heavily guarded border with South Korea. He was the son of a high-ranking military officer, reportedly a major general in the North Korean army. His family's status afforded him certain privileges that many ordinary citizens could only dream of: food. Yet even this came with its own pressures. Being a member of the elite meant living under scrutiny, where every action and word could be interpreted as loyalty or disloyalty to the regime. From an early age, Oh was indoctrinated in the strict codes of North Korean society. Education focused on ideology and loyalty to the Kim dynasty. He eventually joined the North Korean military, taking on the role of a driver responsible for transporting high-ranking officers. This position gave him unique access to sensitive areas, including the joint security area at Panmunjom, where North and South Korean soldiers stand face to face. Life at the border was tense and regimented, yet it was here, surrounded by the dangers of one of the most heavily fortified borders in the world, that Oh gained a perspective few soldiers ever do, an intimate understanding of the lethal risks and a glimpse of the freedom that lay just beyond the lines. By the time he reached his early 20s, Oh was fully trained, intimately familiar with the border and acutely aware of the dangers, but uniquely positioned to attempt the impossible. The stage was set for a split-second decision at the edge of the most dangerous line on earth. Even for a soldier trained in discipline and obedience, the desire for freedom can become impossible to ignore. For Oh Chong-song, that desire had been growing quietly for years. Every day, he observed the South Korean soldiers across the demarcation line. Oh's position as a military driver gave him an unusual perspective. Unlike ordinary soldiers patrolling the border, he was trusted to transport high-ranking officers and sensitive cargo. He knew the patterns of patrols, the schedules of guards, and the layout of checkpoints. Every detail became etched in his memory. With this knowledge came a dangerous thought. He could exploit it to escape, but the consequences were clear. Defection at Panmunjom was almost unheard of. The area was tightly monitored from both sides. Security cameras, sensors, and armed guards tracked every movement. Even the smallest misstep could lead to death. Or worse, the failure of the plan could endanger his family. By late 2017, the desire for freedom outweighed fear. Reports from defectors in other regions confirmed the risks, but also highlighted the possibilities. Attempting escape at the DMZ was far more dangerous than fleeing through China or Southeast Asia. Yet for Oh, stationed at the border, it offered the most immediate opportunity. In the days before his escape, He prepared meticulously. He observed guard rotations, memorized camera blind spots, and timed every movement. The psychological weight was immense. Defection meant abandoning everything familiar. Yet after repeated assessments of risk versus possibility, he reached a decision. He would act. What followed would test him to the limits of human endurance and alter the course of his life forever. November 13th, 2017 began like any other day at Panmunjom, the joint security area at the heart of the demilitarized zone. North and South Korean soldiers stood face to face across the 4-kilometer-wide border. Oh Chong-song was assigned to drive a North Korean military vehicle that morning. His role was routine: transport personnel and supplies along a narrow stretch of road, follow protocols precisely, and never draw attention. Yet in his mind, the day was anything but routine. At a carefully calculated moment, Oh accelerated the vehicle toward the military demarcation line. The concrete barriers and barbed wire loomed closer with each second. Soldiers on both sides froze, the tension suddenly broken by the roar of the engine and the unmistakable realization that something extraordinary was unfolding. North Korean guards reacted immediately, shouting orders and firing shots. The vehicle barreled forward, crashing through a blockade before Oh abandoned it and continued on foot. Every step was a gamble. Bullets tore through the air, some striking dangerously close. On the South Korean side, he collapsed behind a wall, the reality of survival settling in only gradually. South Korean soldiers arrived, carrying him to safety, treating his injuries, and securing the area. The escape, rare and almost unprecedented, had succeeded. Oh was rushed to a military hospital where a team of doctors worked tirelessly to save him. Surgeries repaired damaged tissue, stabilized bones, and addressed internal injuries, while nurses and medics tended to his wounds with precision and care. The psychological scars ran deep.
That he had a dream that he was kidnapped to North Korea again, right? Because the patients like him might be really anxious that he might get, kidnapped back to, North Korea again.
Yet slowly, with counseling and support, the weight of trauma began to lift.
Is this freedom? Yes.
He learned that fear could coexist with freedom, that survival was not just about escaping bullets, but reclaiming the right to live fully. Over time, Oh rebuilt his life. He learned to walk without fear, to speak without censorship, to plan for a future no longer dictated by the regime. His story became more than survival. It became a testament to human resilience, to the unyielding desire for liberty, and to the extraordinary strength of those who refuse to live in chains. Every glance across the DMZ, every memory of that frozen, violent morning transformed into gratitude for the chance to exist as a free man. Oh Chong-song's escape did not just secure his own survival, it captured global attention and illuminated the stark realities faced by North Koreans. It reminded the world of the extreme risks ordinary people endure to reclaim autonomy over their own lives.